We're here for our weekly softball press conference with head coach Clarissa Crowell. Coach, what are your main takeaways from the Tuesday's doubleheader against Wright State?
Yeah, overall, it was a long night for our student athletes. I don't think we got back into town until midnight. But from an energy and effort standpoint, I thought our kids did a great job. And when you go on the road for a midweek game and you have a 5 and a 7 o'clock start, which our student athletes aren't used to playing that late into the night, you always wonder how they're going to be from that standpoint. I was very, very pleased with how hard they played. And, unfortunately, in that first game, we suffered a tough loss. We went into the 6th inning with a 4-1 lead, but we just couldn't finish it. And right now, or last night at least, we're trying to give Kelsey Frederick some rest, so she wasn't available to throw. And, typically our game plan is to get our starter through 5 innings and then bring Kelsey in to close. And because she wasn't available, we had to rely on Shannon to go a little bit longer than she normally is used to. And I think last night was a perfect example of how critical of a role Kelsey plays in our pitching staff. But in Game 2, really pleased on how our girls responded to that loss in Game 1. They came out ready to go, and I'm very proud of Carly Mortensen because she gave us 7 strong innings. I thought she did a really good job of just keeping hitters off balance. Thought she had good command of her pitches for the most part and threw her changeup really well last night. And, Carly doesn't have that strong performance if it's not for the defense. And our kids were making plays everywhere last night, starting with Erin McCarver. I mean, she was laying out for balls in right field, up the middle. Her and Mickey turning double plays, and they just did a phenomenal job. But Johnny and Wall did a good job defensively. Kat Lee, Caitlin Glia. So I was really proud of the way those kids went out there and just grinded out Game 2. From an offensive standpoint, I thought we swung the bats really well, and for the most part, we had good quality at bats, and that's what we talked to our kids about. And I'd like to mention 2 young ladies that played last night who don't typically get the start, and Alyssa Hedrick and Kara Leckinger. And we always tell our student athletes, when you're in there, take advantage of your opportunities. And I thought Kara did a great job. She goes up there, has had limited at-bats on the year, and she hits a home run. And Alyssa Hedrick comes up in a situation to drive in some runs, and she did. So, but very happy with those 2 players' successes. And just overall, Johnny's hitting the ball well. Kat had a good night. Lauren Anderson swinging the bat really well. So just pleased with what we were able to do. And you always want to win too, but just happy that our girls were able to respond in Game 2 and get that win.
All right, moving on to this weekend with a big series coming up. What are your expectations against Ohio?
Right. I think it's no secret. It's a big series. It's a big series for us, and it's a big series for OU. And OU's a very good team, and they're going to go out there. They're going to play hard, and it's going to be a grind. And as we all know, when we play OU, it's always a big deal in itself, and it's called the Battle of the Bricks. And this weekend, that's exactly what it's going to be. It's going to be a battle. And I think in order for our team to be successful, we're going to have to go down there and be the more mentally tough team. From an offensive standpoint, we all know they have good pitching. Savannah Dorsey's a very good pitcher, but the one good thing is we're familiar with what she has. And, I mean, we played those guys last year in 5 games. So our kids are going to be well prepared, but when it comes down to the game, they're going to have to execute their plan. They're going to have to make adjustments, and we're going to have timely hits. It's not going to be a game that we can expect to score 5, 6 runs like we typically do. But as long as we have timely hits, everything else that happens doesn't matter. From a defensive standpoint, we're just going to have to play good, solid, fundamental softball and our fundamental defense, and our pitching's going to have to step up. But like I said earlier, I think it's going to be a grind, and in order for us to be successful, we're going to have to put all 3 aspects of the game together this weekend.
And with the final 2 weeks of the season approaching, how do you assess your team?
Yeah, we take it one game at a time, 1 weekend at a time, 1 series at a time, and I say that every week, and I like where we are right now. The one good thing that our team's been doing is we find different ways to win. I thought the Buffalo series was a perfect example of that. We win Game 2 1-0, so we had strong pitching and we had a strong defense, and then Game 2 or Game 3, it's a little different of a story. We had to win that game 8-5. Our bats had to pick up our pitching and our defense, and that's the signs of a good team, when you can always find different ways to win. And what I love about our kids is they're resilient and they never give up, and they continue to fight. And going down the stretch, that's the type of mindset that we're going to have. But as long as when you get to this point in the season, one of the big keys to success is just staying healthy. So as long as we can stay healthy, continue to play the way we've been playing, both physically and mentally, I think it'll be a good series this weekend against OU.
All right. Thanks and good luck this week.
Thank you.